Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now, onto the latest news. A warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail! It's been buzzing around the Scottish football circles like wildfire, and folk are whispering about a potential storm brewing at Celtic that could shake the squad to its very core. Rumours are emerging that ANGUS GUNN, the goalkeeper, whose performances have drawn both praise and criticism, is reportedly refusing to play in upcoming fixtures, a claim that has left fans and pundits scratching their heads in disbelief. The crux of the matter seems to revolve around the captaincy, with CALLUM McGREGOR firmly entrenched in the role that GUNN apparently feels should be contested or reconsidered. Social media platforms are alight with speculation, memes, and heated debates as supporters argue over whether a player's refusal to step onto the pitch over a leadership dispute is acceptable or an act of sheer audacity. Insiders hint that lockup. Room tensions have been simmering for months. Yet this revelation, if true, could mark a turning point in the season. Managers, coaches, and fellow teammates are reportedly caught between maintaining squad harmony and addressing the apparent insubordination of a player who some say has never fully embraced the team's leadership hierarchy. Pundits suggest that if GUNN holds firm in his refusal, Celtic might face a dilemma of either sanctioning a key player or risking on-field disruption during crucial fixtures, a scenario that could spiral beyond immediate control. Fans have taken to online forums, Instagram threads, and Twitter comment sections to dissect every nuance of this unfolding drama, scrutinizing every interview, training session clip, and cryptic social media posts from ANGUS GUNN or other squad members. Supporters are split down the middle. Some empathize with GUNN's apparent frustration over leadership appointments, arguing that a player of his experience and caliber should have had input or at least consideration for such a pivotal role, while others deride the move as petulant and unprofessional, potentially undermining the Celtic ethos that has historically emphasized unity, respect, and collective responsibility. Rumors suggest that behind closed doors, heated discussions have taken place with management attempting to mediate, yet the situation remains tense, with insiders hinting that the goalkeeper's stance is firm and unwavering. The media has begun to speculate on potential ramifications, including match day lineup adjustments, emergency replacements, or tactical reshuffles to accommodate the absence of a key figure between the sticks. Some Scottish pundits are drawing comparisons to past controversies in the Premiership, where player unrest influenced club dynamics and even the outcome of crucial campaigns. Meanwhile, whispers from training ground sources claim that the rest of the squad is divided, some showing support or at least sympathy towards GUNN's position, while others privately express frustration over perceived disruption. This narrative has sparked a frenzy of fan polls, betting speculation, and tactical debates, with nobody quite certain how Celtic's management will navigate the delicate situation. Even rival clubs seem intrigued, with subtle hints on social media suggesting that whispers of internal turmoil might offer an advantage if exploited strategically. Though whether this translates into actual competitive gain remains purely speculative. Insiders allege that the tension escalated when CALLUM McGREGOR assumed the captaincy, a move that, according to some sources, was intended to stabilize the squad and reward consistent leadership. However, ANGUS GUNN reportedly perceives this appointment differently, feeling that it undermines his influence and contribution, especially as he has been pivotal in several key fixtures and clean sheets. The situation is said to have created an atmosphere of quiet resentment, with training sessions becoming subtly charged and a sense of underlying awkwardness pervading team interactions. Some journalists claim that this tension is more pronounced during defensive drills or pre-match preparations, where GUNN's body language and interactions with teammates allegedly hint at frustration or deliberate disengagement. Rumors suggest that the management has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to prevent an outright standoff, arranging private meetings, motivational talks, and mediation sessions. But GUNN's purported refusal to play introduces a new layer of complexity that could disrupt these efforts. Scottish football circles are rife with speculation over whether this is a negotiating tactic, an emotional reaction, or a genuine stance, leaving analysts to ponder how such internal dynamics might affect performance, morale, and the club's broader ambitions. Social media chatter paints a vivid picture of fan anxiety, with memes highlighting the drama, hashtags trending over the captaincy, and opinion threads running into thousands of comments. Even casual observers are now familiar with the names involved, reflecting how football gossip has become part of mainstream discussion. The central question remains whether GUNN's stance is a temporary flare-up that can be smoothed over, or a harbinger of prolonged unrest that might influence Celtic's campaign on multiple fronts. Meanwhile, speculation has extended to possible ripple effects beyond the squad, with suggestions that sponsors, board members, and even fan organizations might be subtly influencing discussions, worried about negative publicity affecting brand image and ticket sales. Some insiders claim that certain high-profile supporters have contacted club officials to express concern, while others appear to revel in the drama, seeing it as an intriguing subplot in what has otherwise been a competitive season. The Scottish press has reportedly been carefully balancing factual reporting with rumor amplification, aware that each published detail could either soothe or inflame tensions. Betting markets have noticed the potential disruption, with odds subtly shifting on match outcomes, player performances, and future captaincy scenarios. Analysts argue that GUNN's stance, if it holds, could force Celtic into a tactical dilemma: whether to field a replacement goalkeeper under pressure, risk destabilizing defensive chemistry, or attempt a compromise that maintains squad morale, but potentially undermines authority. Discussions in fan communities also consider historical precedents, comparing this incident to similar controversies in European football, where leadership disputes led to transfers, benchings, or public apologies. Some speculate that the situation could even trigger broader shifts in team hierarchy, with emerging players sensing opportunity or other veterans reassessing their roles. With every passing day, speculation intensifies, and the line between gossip, expert opinion, and reality becomes increasingly blurred, leaving the football world riveted. Rumors further suggest that the dispute might not be limited to the pitch, but could extend to off-field interactions, with claims of tension during travel, team meetings, and social events. Insiders hint that certain gestures, words, or lack thereof have been interpreted as symbolic resistance or subtle protest, contributing to an atmosphere thick with unspoken friction. The speculation has fans dissecting every Instagram story, post-match interview, and press conference for hidden clues, as if decoding a cryptic drama unfolding in real time. Pundits have theorized that if GUNN remains steadfast, Celtic might face a rare and difficult choice between enforcing disciplinary measures or risking prolonged instability during a crucial period in the Scottish Premiership. Social media polls have taken on a life of their own, with supporters debating the fairness of captaincy assignments, player autonomy, and the ethics of refusing to play. Meanwhile, rival clubs' fans have chimed in with amusement, mockery, or curiosity, further amplifying the rumors' reach beyond immediate Celtic circles. This cascade of speculation has even reached international platforms, with commentators outside Scotland tracking the drama as an intriguing subplot in European football gossip. Rumors about potential mediators, from former players to senior coaching staff, add layers of intrigue, suggesting a delicate negotiation process is underway, though details remain intentionally opaque to protect reputation. Analysts argue that how this scenario resolves could influence Celtic's broader strategy, both in domestic competitions and potential European fixtures, making every decision critical. Other sources whisper that GUNN's perceived grievances are not just about captaincy, but also broader questions of respect, recognition, and future career ambitions, potentially influencing his willingness to compromise. Rumors claim that the player has expressed privately to teammates that his contributions have been undervalued, creating a context that could explain, though not necessarily justify, his refusal to play. Scottish pundits speculate about whether this is a long-term stance or a temporary emotional reaction, with the latter more likely to subside if negotiations yield perceived fairness. Fans continue to scrutinize every tactical substitution and training pattern for signs of underlying discord, interpreting even minor incidents as evidence supporting the rumor. Meanwhile, the club's management is reportedly treading carefully, conscious that overt confrontation could escalate tensions and damage the team's public image. Conversations within the boardroom are said to include weighing disciplinary measures against maintaining competitive cohesion, a delicate balance few organizations navigate successfully. Social media trends reflect widespread curiosity and concern, with supporters passionately voicing opinions on forums, podcasts, and live streams. The evolving narrative has captured imaginations, creating a suspense-filled atmosphere reminiscent of the most talked-about football controversies in recent history, and leaving the question of resolution tantalizingly open. Whispers from behind. The scenes are growing louder, and some claim that Angus Gunn's refusal to play under Callum McGregor's captaincy has now reached the ears of agents and intermediaries from clubs outside Scotland. According to these unverified sources, a handful of English Championship and lower Premier League sides are monitoring the situation closely, believing that a frustrated player might become available at a reduced fee or even force a loan move. In January, whether these clubs have actually made contact or are simply posturing remains unclear, but such rumors inevitably stir further uncertainty around Celtic's stability. Inside the club, the coaching staff is reportedly having to adjust training sessions, running scenarios where alternative keepers take the number one spot in case Gunn's stance hardens. Meanwhile, fans at Lennoxtown training ground have allegedly noticed Gunn arriving late or leaving early, fueling speculation about his current commitment level. Podcasts have dissected this rumor relentlessly, with some hosts suggesting it's a battle of egos rather than principles, while others argue it could reflect deeper structural issues in Celtic's player management. The drama now has a momentum of its own, with each passing day bringing fresh claims, denials, and cryptic social media activity. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. The captaincy issue itself has taken on symbolic importance, with Callum McGregor being portrayed by some supporters as the embodiment of Celtic's work ethic and by others as the beneficiary of a decision lacking transparency. In the rumor mill, this isn't just about who wears the armband. It's about power, influence, and the quiet politics that run through dressing rooms at elite clubs. Gunn's alleged refusal to play is, to those who believe the gossip, a protest against a perceived imbalance in recognition and authority within the squad. Reports claim that during recent team talks, Gunn has remained unusually silent, his body language described as closed off and distant. If this is true, it's easy to imagine how such detachment could erode morale, particularly among younger players who look for leadership in both the captain and the senior goalkeeper. Rival fans have seized on the controversy, creating mocking chants and online videos that parody the situation, further irritating sections of the Celtic fan base. Some media figures, however, caution against jumping to conclusions, noting that until someone inside the club goes on record, all this remains speculative. Still, the optics are damaging, and in football, perception can be just as influential as fact when it comes to shaping narratives. Rumors have begun to connect the current situation with past episodes in Gunn's career, digging through archives for moments where he clashed with management or teammates. Some journalists point to a similar episode during his time in England, when disputes over tactical decisions allegedly led to strained relationships with coaching staff. Whether these stories are relevant or simply opportunistic rehashes is debatable, but they've added fuel to the fire. Inside Celtic Park, the challenge now is to maintain a unified front publicly while dealing with a potentially stubborn player privately. It's a delicate dance. Too much leniency could be seen as weakness. Too much firmness could escalate matters. Fans, naturally, are split, with some calling for Gunn to be dropped entirely until he recommits, while others suggest an olive branch could mend fences and restore harmony. The Scottish sports radio shows are thriving on the topic, with callers offering theories ranging from personality clashes to contract disputes disguised as a captaincy protest. Each theory, no matter how far-fetched, adds another layer to the intrigue. With key fixtures looming, even a small fracture in the squad could have outsized consequences, and that's exactly what has the Celtic faithful on edge right now. Adding to the drama, some online insiders have claimed that private conversations between senior players have been leaked, allegedly confirming Gunn's discontent and his unwillingness to compromise while McGregor wears the armband. If such leaks are genuine, they would mark a rare breach in dressing room confidentiality, a code traditionally respected by players no matter the internal disagreements. The supposed messages, described in vague terms by those claiming to have seen them, apparently express frustration over favoritism and closed decision-making circles within the club hierarchy. Naturally, Celtic have made no public comment on these claims, and without verifiable proof, they remain part of the swirling rumor cloud. Nevertheless, these whispers have intensified debates in fan communities about transparency in leadership appointments and whether modern football clubs owe their supporters more openness in decision-making processes. Pundits have been quick to point out that leadership disputes often mask deeper tensions, be they related to wages, tactical roles, or off-field relationships. In Gunn's case, some speculate that his role in the team's defensive setup has been undervalued since McGregor became captain, possibly influencing his current stance. All of this, true or not, has kept the story alive in headlines and social feeds alike. The timing of this alleged dispute couldn't be more precarious for Celtic, with a string of high-pressure fixtures approaching in both domestic and European competition. Some fans fear that the distraction, whether real or exaggerated, could impact focus and performance on the pitch. In a world of football, momentum and morale are fragile. A few bad results, and pressure mounts exponentially. Reports suggest that Ange Postecoglou's successor as manager has been briefed daily on the situation, weighing the pros and cons of confronting Gunn directly versus letting time and silence resolve the matter. This is a risky calculation, as prolonged uncertainty can allow rumors to harden into perceived truths, regardless of accuracy. Meanwhile, journalists camped outside the training ground are looking for any small sign of change. Does Gunn train? With intensity. Does he laugh with teammates? Does McGregor acknowledge him during drills? Every tiny detail is analyzed as potential evidence of a thaw or a further freeze in relations. For supporters, this constant drip of speculation is both exhausting and addictive, keeping them glued to updates that may or may not bring any real clarity to the goalkeeper's intentions. There are even suggestions that Celtic's board is quietly exploring contingency plans in case Gunn's position becomes untenable. According to speculative reports, potential short-term goalkeeper signings are being discussed, with scouts compiling a list of available options who could be brought in outside the traditional transfer windows if needed. Some fans see this as evidence that the club is bracing for a worst-case scenario, while others dismiss it as standard due diligence twisted into gossip. The rumor mill thrives on such ambiguity, turning practical considerations into signs of imminent upheaval. In this climate, even the most mundane decisions, like who takes the starting spot in a friendly, are interpreted as political moves. This has created an environment where every action or inaction from Gunn, McGregor, or the coaching staff is subject to intense public decoding. The longer this goes on, the more entrenched positions become among the fan base, with online polls and heated pub debates showing little sign of consensus. Whatever the truth, the perception of division can be just as damaging as division itself. And Celtic's leadership will be keenly aware of that as the story refuses to fade from the headlines. As all this unfolds, McGregor has maintained a disciplined public silence, speaking only about upcoming matches and the importance of team unity in his limited media appearances. Some view this as admirable professionalism, while others interpret it as avoidance, a reluctance to address the elephant in the room. GUNN, on the other hand, has reportedly turned down at least one interview request, fueling the belief that his side of the story might not align with the club's preferred narrative. Fans are left piecing together scraps of information, trying to reconcile the image of two respected professionals with the idea of a standoff severe enough to impact match selections. Rival fans and pundits continue to speculate gleefully, suggesting possible outcomes ranging from a dramatic reconciliation to a mid-season transfer shock. The one constant is uncertainty, which seems to feed the rumor machine even more effectively than hard facts. Until someone inside Celtic chooses to speak openly, this saga will remain a blend of truth, half-truth, and outright fiction wrapped in the emotional investment of supporters who care deeply about both the players and the principles at stake. For now, the silence from those directly involved speaks volumes, intentionally or not. And so, as the days tick by, the rumor takes on a life of its own, no longer entirely dependent on fresh developments to keep it alive. Every rehashed story, every speculative tweet, and every exclusive from an unnamed source only deepens the sense that something significant is simmering beneath the surface at Celtic Park. Whether this is genuinely about the captaincy, a clash of personalities, or a more complex web of grievances will remain unknown until the key figures break their silence. In the meantime, GUNN's absence, real or threatened, casts a shadow over the squad's preparations, with younger players reportedly unsure how to navigate interactions with both him and McGREGOR. This uncertainty can erode confidence, and in football, that's often as dangerous as any tactical weakness. For the fans, the story has become almost as compelling as the matches themselves, a narrative of pride, principle, and perhaps stubbornness that resonates far beyond the pitch. In the absence of clear answers, supporters will keep talking, speculating, and debating, because in the theater of football, rumors are part of the drama. And right now, Celtic are center stage in a saga that shows no sign of ending soon. Hello fan, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.